Okay, I'm Bob Fish, and I'm here with Dave Walston.
Hi.
And this is another episode of the Patent Beast podcast. Today, we're just talking about how the Patent Beast came to be and how we developed all the really fun comics that are part of Patent Beast. So, Dave, what do you remember? How did it get started?
I was contacted by somebody that used to work for you. He was a friend of mine, mutual friend, and they told me that you were looking for somebody to do this comic strip based on the patent world. I had known really about Dilbert. That was the only other kind of business-oriented comic strip that I knew of, but I liked Dilbert. That was funny, and and I got involved. I was back into 2006.
Yeah, so part of the idea from my perspective is that to many people, patenting seems really, really awful. It's boring. It's it's all a bunch of heads talking to the patent office, and it's really not. It's all human beings. The patent examiners are human beings. The attorneys are sort of human beings. So it's all fun. And so the idea was to bring it to life so that other people could enjoy what we're doing. So we make fun of me, we make fun of everyone else in the office, make fun of the patent examiners, the clients, everyone. So, but 80% of it, I write the text, but then you actually make it come to life with the characters.
That's my specialty, right, is drawing the characters. You had provided the scripts. Oh gosh, there must have been well over 100 over the years that you had provided me with, and I would take those scripts and turn them into 3 or 4 panel comic strips. Well,
we've done a lot with it over the years. I want to get into the comic books and show you actually some of the fun comics that I think are pretty funny. But then here we decided at one point we needed a real patent beast. So how did this guy come about?
So I think it was during COVID. Not a lot of people in the office, and I had this idea of making this patent. My original idea, I don't know if you remember this, but I wanted to make him like 7 foot tall.
Oh yeah.
And you had said maybe I should dial it back, and perhaps 4 foot would be good enough. And so that's what we did. Spent a couple of weeks, I think, at home.
So it's cardboard, right?
It's made out of cardboard, yeah.
And it comes in pieces?
The Patent Beast was originally supposed to be piles of paper. That was the design. He was meant to sort of portray, what would you call it? Bureaucratic. Yeah, difficulties. He was an obstacle to get past. That was the original idea, is that the beast was the portrayal, the metaphor of this, obstacle, this difficulty, something that was big and cumbersome and sort of slow moving.
Right. So he appears sometimes in the comics, but not always. A lot of times it's just sporadic that he appears. Right. Often he's throwing paper at either you or the inventor or somebody like that. So we started with an original comic book. Actually, this was the original comic book. This big guy here. 8.5 by 11 with smaller comics. But then we realized that was too bulky for people to carry around and share with each other. So we decided to split it up into littler books and make more comics. So we ended up with the first Patent Beast comic book, and then Back for Seconds, and then Third Time's the Charm. And actually, we're still writing comics.
Yeah.
The most recent one, do you remember the most recent one?
The most recent one was the AI series.
Yeah, AI. Tell us about that one.
Oh, gosh, you're going to put me on the spot and make me remember it, even though I drew it. The Patent Beast morphs from kind of, what would you call, like an analog version with stuff, paper. And then as AI is becoming more and more prominent, it shows, I think, the original one was the inventor wanted to know if ChatGPT could kind of solve his questions, right? And the first thing he asks is it going to share my idea? And ChatGPT says, of course, I'm going to share the idea. It becomes part of the database. And so he decides he's going to go to another lawyer, and they want a bunch of money. And then,
Yes, and then he goes to the lawyer, and the lawyer wants a bunch of money, and he says, well, I'll just have ChatGPT write the application. So he does, and he sends it off to the patent office. Then the patent office figures, well, I'll just have the ChatGPT write the office action. And then it goes back and forth. It goes back to him, and he just has the ChatGPT write the response. And so the office back and forth with the office actions and responses goes back and forth. And during this time, the AI evolves. I guess we could show it at some point. AI evolves not from a patent beast here, but it just evolves into something that's ephemeral, where it doesn't really exist. It's almost just the eyes.
Right.
And then at the very end, you realize that it's a cat. AI is actually a cat. And throughout all the centuries, it's connected psychically with all the other cats. And when it's sitting on your desk, looking at what you're reading, it's grabbing that information. And so over all these centuries, the AI cat has actually been accumulating all this information of all the knowledge in the world by watching inside people's homes.
Those cats, they're sneaky.
Anyway, so there's a couple other things that at least I find are really funny. There's one of them here, starting on page 43. And it's actually, I made the patent examiner like an old girlfriend of mine. And no matter what you say to her, she just comes up with nonsense.
That's funny, Bob.
So I read you just a quick one here. I appreciate your position, Ms. Wise, the name of the examiner, but I really do believe the patent office is in error. And she says, there's only one truth. How we interpret that truth is called belief. Well, what do you do with that? Okay, then I have a question for you. In this application, if we amended the claim so that, and she interrupts and she says, finally a question. A prudent question is one half of wisdom. Well, what do you do with that? So no matter what you do with this examiner, you just get absolutely nowhere, and it's frustrating.
One of my favorite series was the Bomb series, where you had Barry
Older, Marvel, and Bean.
Yeah.
It's a phony law firm. You remember anything about that one?
Not the specifics, just what struck me is, they're kind of outrageous situations. But I think you told me at one point that almost all of these situations are things you've actually run across in real life.
Right.
And that was actually based on a firm that you, I don't know if you worked for them or...
No, we don't want to say who it's modeled after. It's called Barry Older, Marvel, and Bean. And Bean is actually a bean.
He's a bean.
It's a talking bean in this comic series. And so I'll just read you a couple of these because I think they're funny. They're in a meeting, Barry Older, Marvel, and the Bean sitting in the middle of the table. We need to rebrand our law firm. Our image of blowing up opposing parties doesn't work. Now that we have been sanctioned millions of dollars for unfair labor practices, and then another guy says, how about focusing on creativity in patent drafting? And the old guy says, what? I don't want to have to be creative. We attract business from our size, not our creativity. Right, let's just focus on size and years and practice. So I totally make fun of them. They cheat everybody. Do a very poor job, very mediocre job. But
one of my favorites is the one where you had them. Somebody came in with an invention on pencils, and he said he had a PhD in pencilology, and I had him spinning a pencil on his finger like it's a basketball.
Yeah, a lot of inventors think they need someone with a PhD in something to understand it, which I think is a big mistake, because often the PhDs are so enmeshed in understanding what you can't do that they really can't expand it and patent it broadly. And the guy came in and said, do you have a PhD in this or that? And yes, we have a PhD in pencilology.
One of the things I really like about this comic, and I didn't know it as much when I was originally drafting it, although I'm sure you did, is that those really illustrate a point that got used in, for instance, the Greenfields. I'll hold it up here for the camera. The Greenfields patenting and the white space patenting. And if you look through these, you'll find the comics here and there. And I read through this, editing this book when we were redoing it, and they illustrate the point.
One of the things about being a small law firm is that people don't necessarily come to us. They don't even know about us, right? If you take the top 4 or 5 patent firms in the country, or giant firms that have a big patent office, people go to them because they're big, because they're famous, and they assume they're going to get good work. And in many instances, they do good work. But people don't come out of engineering school and say, gee, let's go to patents with Fish IP Law. I mean, they don't even know about us. But I maintain that if people knew about us and really understood what is a good patent and why we do a better job and so forth than many other firms, then they would come to us. So the idea was, you have to market somehow, and my idea of marketing was information. Allow people to understand those things. So the analogy I give is, if you go to a doctor and you have a stomach ache and the doctor says, oh, here, take some Tagamet and go home. Is that a good doctor or not? You have no idea, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe a week later you get better, but were you going to get better anyway, right? Or maybe a month later you have stomach cancer and you say, well, it wasn't a good doctor. The point is, you don't know enough typically to know if it's a good doctor. And when you go to an attorney, you actually don't know enough to know if it's a good attorney. And the thing about patent law, instead of your body, is that you may not know for years later. The average patent is litigated, if it's litigated, 12 years after it was issued. Well, wow. That's a long time to find out that your patent was worth anything or not worth something. So what I was going to say was that while the cartoons are essentially human foibles, they portray things that are human. And so in that sense, they're relatable, although the actual vocabulary is specific to the patent world. Right. And you might not get some of the jokes unless you were familiar with the patent world. But at the same time, while they're human and they're relatable, they also do really illustrate some good points. And I know that's part of what you wanted to do with the creativity. That's part of the reason for my existence here. First as a freelance illustrator, and then later coming on full time with you, is that we get to portray difficult concepts and try to make those something that people can understand. And that's a big part of what you've been trying to do with artwork, with the comics, with the Yeah, that's what I always maintain, that anybody can make something complicated. Right?
Yeah.
The trick is to make it simple.
Yeah.
And the challenge of a comic strip is that you only have at most 4 frames, maybe even 3 frames, or sometimes 1 frame. And so in 20 words or less, in a few frames, how do you get across a concept in a way that's funny?
Right.
So, I mean, Dilbert, as you point out, did that brilliantly.
Yeah.
And I think we've done a pretty good job. Maybe not as good as Dilbert, but we've done a pretty good job at it. Anyway, so we could talk about some of these books as well. This white space patenting is actually directed to inventors. How do you write a patent application? And these days, of course, you can ask ChatGPT to write it, but it can do some things well, like the background it can do well. But when it comes time to actually claiming, it doesn't do it well. And so the question is, how do people learn how to do this? And there are other books on the topic. There's Patent It Yourself is one book, but it's more mechanics of the patenting. This is all strategy. Like, how do you think the examiner is going to look at this? And how do you, what's the breadth of the claim, right? Because if you claim, it's sort of like, patents are like real estate, right? If you have a little piece of real estate, it's worth this. If you have a big piece of real estate, it's worth this.
Sure.
The interesting thing about patenting is that if your claim is too narrow, then people can just simply change little things and they escape from the patent. It's not infringing. If you go too broadly, then it incorporates things that are already known, and then it's invalid. So if it's too broad, it's invalid. If it's too narrow, it's worthless. Both cases are worthless. So the trick is, how do you search it? How do you really understand what to claim? And it takes a while to do that. I mean, I've been training patent attorneys for 30 some years now. And some people are really good at it just naturally, and some people are not, but it takes really years to get good at it. It's fascinating. And maybe we'll all be out of business in a few years because AI will keep advancing, but at least for right now, we still have some work. We have some work to do, yeah.
Yeah, so, one of the I don't know what you call it, concepts, I guess. I remember the first things that you illustrated was, the inventor would come in with his contraption and set it on, and he would say, hey Bob, I want to patent my invention. And you would try to get him get across the idea that that's not the invention. The invention is the inventive concept that this is based off.
Right.
And he'd say, whatever, I want to patent the invention.
Yeah, that's right.
And so
here's one on page 13, which we could show. Like, the guy brings in an invention, puts it on the table and says, here's my invention. And there's a brilliant patent attorney named Bob in the comments. Okay, but we want to patent the idea, not what you have is an embodiment of the idea. No, I want to patent my invention. Picks up and puts it back on the table. It's really hard to get people to do that. So then in the next frame, the next series, the inventor comes back. I drafted a patent application on my invention. These claims are all directed to your preferred embodiment, is what I say. What we want to claim is the white space. No, I want to patent my invention. Well, no, you don't want to patent your invention. It doesn't matter what you invented. What matters is what you want to stop other people from doing.
Yeah.
So within that, here's what you want to stop other people from doing. Here's what you invented. My job is to take this and come up with this.
Yeah. So it's a way you've used those comic strips to get across a concept that people sometimes struggle with.
Yeah. And it's hard for people to get that.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes people come in and they have paper, right? They're drawings, and they put it on the table and they say, here's what I came up with, here's my invention. And maybe I'm a little obnoxious. I take it and I push it on the floor and I say, I don't care what you invented. And then pause. And every single time they look at the door, they think
where's the escape routes?
They think I'm going to go postal or something. I say, I don't care. This took me 5 years to figure out as a young patent attorney. And I think most people still haven't figured it out. The question is not, what did you invent? The question is, what do you want to stop other people from doing? That's the only right you get with a patent, is that you can stop other people from doing something. So that's just because, and this is really interesting, this is in some of the comics here. Just because you have a patent on something doesn't mean you can do it, which is really shocking to people, right? Like, let's say I invent a new type of rubber that I can use for automobile tires. Mm-hmm. And you invent a new type of tread.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And my rubber doesn't really work great with existing treads. And your tread doesn't really work great with existing rubbers. But you put the two of them together and it works great. Mm-hmm. Can I go out and make that tire? Do I claim a tire using my rubber? No. Because I have to get permission from you. And you can't do it without permission from me. So people think if they get a patent, they have a right to do what they say, but it doesn't give them that right.
Right.
It only gives them the right to stop other people from doing it.
I wouldn't have known that before, but I do now because I made a video at Bob's request. One of the actual, perhaps benefits of hiring somebody like me who was completely unfamiliar. I don't know that I even knew there was such a thing as an intellectual property lawyer before I started here. But when you would ask me to make videos, I would look at the concept and think, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Some of the basic things, and I think it perhaps helped because concepts that you, as all the attorneys, are completely familiar with by this point,
right?
It's easy to forget that there's a bunch of people like me who have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's right. And you were able to translate some of this thing into who people knew nothing about patenting.
Right.
Right.
Because I would ask the question, like, what do you mean? What's
do you mean?
obviousness?
Yeah, well, even the patent office doesn't know.
Yeah, right.
The Supreme Court doesn't know what obviousness is.
I know that now, but
People have been arguing about that for, what, a couple hundred years? Since 1790 or whenever the patent office started.
7 years into this journey, I feel like I know a lot more about patenting now, although you still correct me an awful lot.
So we've gone even further. We've got the Patent Beast, physical Patent Beast.
Mm-hmm.
We've got comics. We even made a game out of it.
Yeah.
Show the game.
There you go.
We can't stop inventing. Here, let's open it up. All right. Here's a Patent Beast board game. Now, how many patent attorneys do you know that have their own board game?
We had somebody from Australia contact us and ask if we could send them the game.
Yeah. So did we?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. They never told us who won, but
anyway, so this Patent Beast board game is actually fun to play. We've played it. You start with some men in the middle, some characters, and then you roll the dice, and you go around until you find an invention. And half the time you go back to start. And then if you finally do get an invention, then you go over to meet a patent attorney. And you go round and round. Half the time you go back to start because you don't like the patent attorney, or he charges too much or something. And then you go to patent search. Well, half the time what you invented is already known, so you go back to start. So the game is you start with $50,000 or $100,000, and somehow you lose most of your money on the way. And every once in a while, someone
it's like real life, huh?
Like real life, yeah. And someone gets to the very end, and they get a patent. Congratulations, they get it, and they go to commercialize it. And then sometimes it's not worth anything, and they go back to start. So, but sometimes you make lots of money. I guess that's why people do it. And then another interesting thing is every one of these circles, there's a book, and it'll tell you in real life what happens and what to watch out for at that stage. So you can play the game and actually learn about patenting. So that's been fun. People have ordered it. I guess you can get it on it. Where can you get it? Probably nowhere. Probably worth thousands of dollars. You mean like at a GameStop or something like that, or whatever, some of the board game shows? Yeah, I don't know. You get it from our website. Get it from
fishiplaw.com.
Yeah. You can get all the comic books, by the way, at our website. And the Patent Beast books.
Actually, the Patent Magic, you didn't explain Patent Magic, or you explained white space. There's white space patenting, Greenfield's patenting, and Patent Magic. Yeah, so those are all three on Amazon.
So white space is really about how to write applications. Greenfields is about how to build portfolios. So you start with a concept and you patent that, and maybe you patent other things around it. I mean, the concept is if you're patenting what people want right now, it's probably too late. What you want to do is say, where is the market going? What are people going to want 5 years from now? And patent that. And one of the most interesting things that I learned about patenting when I first started is you don't actually have to build it. You don't have to make it to patent it. You just have to say how you would make it. And if you give enough information that someone could actually build it and make it with a reasonable amount of experimentation, you can get a patent on it. So, for example, years ago, I thought you could make a foldable display screen, right? Right now, who's come out with it? Google is.
Are you talking about on the phones?
On a phone.
Samsung.
Yeah. Apple is supposedly going to come out with one. But I thought, why can't you do that? And I thought like that 10 years ago. And I filed a patent application on it, but I was like a couple weeks too late in filing. Otherwise, I would have that patent right now.
So you're sitting on a beach someplace instead of here at the office. Huh?
Be sitting on a beach somewhere, really?
I don't know, maybe.
No, I mean, I love patenting. I've done so many things in my life, and patenting, working with inventors to patent things is one of the most fun things I've ever done. Partly because inventors are a little odd, right? in the way people think. If you think the same way everybody else thinks, you're not going to invent very much. You have to think outside the box, be a little bit odd in your thinking. So all day long, we get to deal with people who are really bright and creative and interesting. Maybe that's better. We'll take out the word odd. We'll just put in.
I like creative. Creative is a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, because the whole idea of a patent is there's a problem out there in the world, and other people can't figure out how to solve it. At least not well. Maybe they have a way, but it's too expensive. It's too Rube Goldberg. It doesn't really work. So here's my idea. I've solved the problem. So the whole point of inventing is to solve a problem, and then patenting is to protect that.
Yeah.
Interesting, people think that patenting can be a bad thing, right? Because let's say you go to buy a drug at the pharmacy and the drug costs, I don't know, $200, and you know it only costs them a nickel to make it, or 15 cents to make it. And you say, why does it cost $200? Well, that's because it's patented. They can stop other people from doing it. Yeah. But the reality is, if they didn't get a patent, who would spend the hundreds of millions of dollars of research, first of all, to invent it, and then to get it through the through the FDA, to get it allowed? No one's going to put up that kind of money if they can't get a monopoly on it, a limited monopoly. So that's the deal. That's what a patent is. It's a contract, sort of, between you and the government. You tell the world about something. That's what patent means. Patent, open. It's open so everybody gets to see what you've done. And they give you a limited monopoly. And then someone else comes along and says, oh, I got a better idea, and then a better idea, and then science advances. Yeah.
We have a history of patents video as well.
Yeah, tell them about the videos.
Okay, so one of the first things that Bob had for me to do when I started here at the office back in late 2018 was to make up a set of videos that would portray different concepts in patenting. And so
and those are all on the web, aren't they?
They're all on the web now, yeah. So there's something like 30 different patents, different patent videos. They're called Fish Facts, FAQ, yes, so Fish Facts. And then we're now starting in on a series of videos that address trademark issues. So we've got 4 of those done. I'm working on the 5th one right now. We have 30 up on patents. They're integrated into the website as well, so you can find them in our facts section on the fishIPlaw.com facts section.
Because what we found is we have an extensive, on the website, list of FAQs. Like how much does it cost? How long does it take? All the typical questions. But what we found is people don't necessarily read those. It's much more fun to just watch a little video. So you have like an animated kind of...
Yeah, if you're watching this video, you're probably the kind of person who appreciates watching videos as well. I know I like reading as well. I know you do too, but some people like videos, and these...
And they're short, right?
Oh, yeah. 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, something like that. They're not long videos at all.
And they're fun because you made them fun. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think so.
Yeah. So let's see, anything else we should talk about? Look at this back here. What's that about?
So, somewhere, one of our attorneys back a little while ago had this idea of doing a flow chart for the patent process. And what he did looked a little more, flow charty. And I took the basic process there and then, I don't know, because that's the way my mind thinks, I figured out what I think is a more visually appealing way. This looks sort of like if you've been to different cities and seen subway maps.
Oh yeah,
that's sort of what it's meant to look like, with the different stops, and it has it's hard to see. You're not going to be able to see it on the video, but if you were up a little closer, it's 3-dimensional letters on it, and the little red and white stops are dimensional as well. Kind of got the idea when I was in Alexandria, Virginia. I had visited the patent office, and in the patent office there is a museum of patenting, all kinds of really incredible displays and 3-dimensional interactive type of, displays. I'm trying to think of a different word, but I can't. Anyway, after seeing that, I thought that would be really cool to do something in that kind of dimensional, aspect. And when the attorney came up with the patent process, this is the result.
And then there's text. You can't really read the text from where you are in the screen, but for example, first office action, it'll tell you about a first office action. And not just the fact that it's there, but interesting information about it.
And this explains it too, is that there's what's called a final office action. And I think it's in one of your books, you explain that a final office action sounds like the end of the road.
It's final.
And what it actually means is the USPTO just wants more money.
They want more money.
And then you get another shot at it. So
you just pay more money and then you start again.
Yeah. Keep going around, I guess.
Yeah. So the longest I've ever heard any patent application go was, it must have been almost 16 years it was arguing. And it was arguing it in Europe. And we were not involved in the arguing.
I was going to say, isn't the term 20 years from issue? Or from
it was 20 years.
From,
so it must have been more like 18 and a half years, because there's 1.5 years left.
Oof.
Even if they had the patent. And they spent, many tens of thousands of dollars on this with European Council. And so I was talking with the owner, actually the head of research of the company, it was a biopharmaceutical company. And I said, well, give it to me. And he thought, well, what are you going to do with it? But we got it, and we got it issued pretty much right away. We took it over. I don't know why the other people couldn't do that, but I guess we just happened to have the right comments. And it got issued. We had 1.5 years left. And my memory is they made over $50 million in that 1.5 years off this drug.
Yeah, we have several attorneys that are involved in kind of the bio, but we have the portfolio you have is
we've done
really extensive.
Last time I checked was 10 years ago, and at that time we had over 15,000 issued patents. Yeah. About half of them in the U.S. and half of them abroad. We do a lot of foreign filings, and just in all kinds of different fields. We've done oil and gas.
Yeah, on the website, there's that IP portfolio. It's a little graphic that kind of,
shows all the different topics.
Yeah, it shows all the different things.
It's interesting when you hire someone, the person who's good at computers is probably not the guy who's going to be good at pharmaceuticals. Just different skill sets. So you have to hire attorneys that are good, or agents, which are effectively the same thing as far as the patent office is concerned. Do we ever talk about that difference between a patent attorney and a patent agent?
As a matter of fact, we have another video on on the website discussing what a patent agent is.
Softball throw.
Did I hit that one out of the park?
Yeah. So basically, a patent attorney is someone who passed the patent bar and passed another bar for a state, like California or Texas or something. And a patent agent hasn't passed a bar. He's not an attorney, but has all exactly the same rights as a patent attorney at the patent office. And of course, once again, they have to have a science background, strong science background, to even take the test, to be allowed to take the test. They're not allowed to do litigation, but actually they can do. The Patent Office has its own quasi-litigation called the Board of Patent Appeals, and they can handle the litigation at the Board of Patent Appeals.
Okay.
So anyway, people, we like patent agents. They're usually very strong. Everybody has to be strong in science, or you can't be a patent attorney or a patent agent.
Yeah.
Anyway, just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah.
So let's see, anything else we should talk about?
Well, the Beast started off kind of at the transformation of the Beast, because I noticed in the kind of latest iterations, he has become more of like a mascot, I guess, because of the identification of the patent Beast with Fish IP Law. He was originally a metaphor for an obstacle that needed to be overcome. He was the difficulties, and you were the the Beast tamer.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that was the difficulty.
You were the Patent Beast tamer.
That's right.
In fact, your original kind of outfit was almost like it was a Steve Irwin or something like that. You know, it was a sort of a khaki, you know, shirt, and you would
controlling the beast.
You would tame the beast, and that's how that's
taming the patent beast.
Right.
Exactly.
And then, like I said, it's sort of morphed in the years to become.
Yeah, but that's all because of Anya.
Well, hey,
she's our new person who does marketing, and so she created this, I don't know, much more friendly, much more interesting person with a personality and a different body. It's not quite so sharp and scary.
Right.
Yeah. So we're thrilled that Anya did that.
Yeah. Well, all characters morph over time. Not all, but a lot of characters. It's pretty standard. Anytime you're cartooning or you develop a character for any amount of time, they begin to take on life of their own.
Like the early Disney characters, like Mickey Mouse actually looked like a mouse.
Yep.
And now it's just become, completely different.
Yeah. Through time, you develop. Yeah, you might have an initial idea, but you develop characters through time. So the Patent Beast, likewise, is kind of morphing along with the times.
Yeah, but still, sometimes we ought to show the Patent Beast as just eyes, 2 little eyes, because he's just ephemeral. Where does he actually exist? He only exists in the computer somewhere.